So first, this is a page, and I am going to make it a little bit larger in a moment. This is the content for the workshop, and in order to get these Markdown files and also the exercises, you can get them from GitHub page with cloning, or if you just want the exercises, you can just get those, but we'll look at that later. But let's just see the GitHub page. It looks like this for the course, and here is the green code button. You can press that, and then you should pick HTTPS in order to get this material here. SSH is only if you have login rights to the page. So here you copy this, and then you could simply clone that with git clone, and then what I just copied here. I'm not going to do that right now, but that is a way to get all the material. It's also possible to download a zip file here, also of all the materials. But otherwise, the exercises themselves, they are in this tarball exercises.tar.gz, and we will fetch that in just a short time. But now on to more of the introduction. So here are some links. We have documentation about Linux at HPC2N, so you could look at that if you need some intro to Linux. We also had a Linux course in the spring, and we're going to have it again in a few weeks on the 22nd of September. And you can go and find that material as well at this link here. That is the recordings from the spring. And here about this course that we will give again on the 22nd September. I should probably also introduce myself because I didn't do that. My name is Birgitte, and I work for HPC2N. I have Pedro here together with me, my colleague, and he's going to teach about applications and how to use those at Kebnekaise later today. Pedro, do you want to say anything?
Yes, my name is Pedro, and I will also help with the applications, yes, in the afternoon.
So let's continue. The content of this course. First, there's this intro, and we will talk a bit about what is HPC2N and HPC, if you don't know that. And then a short look at Kebnekaise's hardware, and then on to how to use our systems. How to get a project and accounts, which you may already know, but we're going to cover it briefly. And how to log in, and in different ways, at least 3 ways to log in. And then there is a little bit about editors, which may be different to what you are used to if you're not using Linux otherwise. Then there is something about the file system, the module system that you use to access software. Then a short entrant about compiling and linking, and then on to the batch system and some examples for how to use the batch system, which is generally how you run jobs at Kebnekaise. Though there is now also the Open on Demand desktop, which is another way of accessing the batch system and Kebnekaise. And I will also briefly talk about that. And then Pedro will talk about some application examples, how to run various applications at the batch system. If you have some suggestions then of which one you want to hear about, you can say that. And I guess if you tell him now, he has some time to prepare to if it's not something he has already prepared, but he has prepared examples for many different types of applications. So I'm sure there will be something interesting. So the course consists of lectures and type alongs, and there's also some exercises. So you can test what you have learned. And uh, I am Birgitte, and then there's Pedro, as we just introduced ourselves. This is important info. There's a course project. It's this one. That's what you use when you are running something on the batch system. We'll talk more about that. It has default project storage, which you find in this location here. And you should create a subdirectory under it. And I'm going to log in to Kebnekaise. And then I am going to go to this directory /project /no backup and for courses. It is important to pay attention to this word here, no backup. That is part of the path to remind people that the project storage is not backed up. Your home directories are backed up, but not the project storage. So don't leave anything there that cannot be fairly easily recreated. Put that in your home directory. It's not like it usually disappears. I don't think it has for a very long time, if ever. But the thing is that it is not backed up, so you cannot be sure that it stays there. So if you have important configurations or something, put it in your home directory. Anyway, this is the project storage for the course. And here you should create a directory for yourself that you can do the exercises in. And I am going to go ahead and do this. And I'm just going to name it my username, because that's an easy way to find things here. And I'm going to go into my directory here. There's nothing here. I just created it. And if I want the material, I could fetch it with git clone now. But I only want the exercises. So I'm going to go to this page here. I'm going to go to code. No, I'm going to go to exercises here, and then I'm going to copy raw. And then I will say wget, and I will paste it, and then fetch it here. It seems it is slightly slow. Or very slow. I'll just leave it alone while it. So again, the Q&A page and the info page. I will also say there are 2 reservations for the course. They are only valid during the course time. And there is one for the GPUs and one for the CPUs. It's just one node of each type. So don't run anything long on it, because then the others don't get to run. But these reservations are there to make sure that we actually do get something to run during the course time. So we don't risk sitting in a queue the whole time. It's not usually the case, but if there's a lot of people running stuff, then it's always good to have. There is also an evaluation survey after the course. It would be great if you will fill that in so we can adjust the course again and see if there are some suggestions for how to make it better. Then we have the schedule. This is what we just did here, welcome and syllabus. And we're now going to move to Introduction to Kebnekaise and HPC2N. And as you can see, then projects and accounts, logging in and editors, including the open on demand, And then at 10:15, that's in just under an hour, we'll have a coffee break of 15 minutes. And then we'll continue with the file system and the module system, and a little bit about compiling, and then an introduction to the batch system before there is a lunch break from 12 to 1. And then we will look at some simple batch scripts, and you will get to run some examples and try to see how that looks. And then after that, Pedro takes over and goes through application examples with some exercises, and they are in two parts. So there is a coffee break in between. And then at the end of the day, there is some time for questions and summary before the course ends. So let's take next section.